quickly.
I'll call this meeting to order. Can we have roll call, please?
Yes, Commissioner Dotson,
Present.
Commissioner Goings,
He's not here. I don't know if he's running late, traffic, whatever.
Well, there is traffic
Okay.
on 270 and Saturday.
Commissioner Dietrich,
Present.
Commissioner Hernandez,
Present.
Commissioner Rowland,
Present.
Commissioner Amos,
I'm here.
Commissioner Gunnelson,
Present.
Commissioner Hunt,
Absent, excused.
Commissioner Bianchi,
Present.
and Commissioner Watkins.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Okay. Would everybody please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Okay, everybody sees the agenda. Can I get a motion to approve this agenda, please?
Motion to approve, Amos.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Second, Brian. Bianchi, second it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Agenda is approved. And the approval of the minutes, everything has been sent by email. Everybody, is it okay? Could I get a motion for that, please?
I moved to approve the minutes. Gunnelson.
Donaldson,
Second, Amos.
Amos, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Minutes approved. Okay. Citizen comments. Old business. Let's go to Commissioner Hunt on his cemetery. He's not here tonight, but he is in the process of working on doing another tour of all our cemeteries. I think we have 5 or 6 of them. So I think you're looking at doing that on a Thursday. That's all I have to report on that.
The only thing I have on the cemeteries from Tanya, from our code enforcement department, is there was we were looking into Guthrie Cemetery. They hadn't been keeping it up, and code enforcement went out. And looks like the fence around there is messed up, but they are taking out a tree, so they can't put the fence back up. So I think our code enforcement department's scheduled to go out there on Friday, the 8th, and we'll proceed from there.
Thank you, Amy. And that's important because there was a dead tree in the middle of that. And that really does need to be removed first. And I'm surprised they didn't move it faster because there's houses around there also. But, okay, thank you for that. Report from Commissioner Rowland on the Education Committee.
Okay, unfortunately, my goal of starting in September is not going to be met. Because Nicole, my teacher from Westhoff, I think is where, has had a really rough summer. And secondly, she has been asked by her principal to rework the curriculum. So we're kind of like stuck.
Okay.
So I will give you guys updates by month when we can get it actually off.
Thank you. We're moving forward. I mean, we have what we need to do. I mean, thank you for that. Commissioner Amos on O'Fallon Historic Designation.
Well, we're passing out brochures and trying to get interest within the community, but other than that, we don't have really anything else to report at this time.
Thank you, Commissioner Amos. Okay, Ms. Harrelson.
Okay, let's see. The first thing I had written, and this is The first thing I have to share is that the ordinance with MoDOT, so that we can do the traffic signal cabinet program, is moving forward. The first reading went through on the 24th at the council meeting. It's going to go through the second reading at the next council meeting on the 14th, and then we'll be able to proceed with, I think there was 2 or 3 that we had approved the application.
Definitely 2, yeah.
2. And so once that is finalized, we can work with John and have John work with the groups to get those cabinets done.
May I talk on that? And this will be the first, we'll be the first city in the state of Missouri to start this process. And we'll be able to allow all the other cities to start doing the same. Okay.
The only other thing that, and I guess my note paper is not where I thought it was. We were approved for the grant from SHPO for our education brochures. So they're not sure when the money's going to be released, but it hasn't been cut from the budget. So we will be getting that money, and so we will be able to start working on the brochures for our educational outreach program.
Great. Yay.
Thank you. And I'll be sending out emails to everybody for you guys to look at that I'm just going to throw a lot of items out there as far as our buildings and everything. There's probably about 10 of them. And let you guys discuss what you think or what if I missed something. Okay?
Rick,
Just to get that going.
I mentioned that to Nicole, and she was going to see with the teachers that she works with if they had any ideas.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. With that, new business, where Ms. Doris Keevan-Frank is here to present the National Register of Historic Places plaque. Doris is a historian and an author, and it's nice to have her here. Thank you.
Welcome.
May I borrow the mic? I'll put it back. I don't talk very loud. I want to thank you. My name is Doris Keevan-Franke, and I'd like to really thank you for inviting me here tonight. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a writer, and I've published over 8 books on the Missouri history over the last 35 years. I'm a member of the Missouri Speakers Bureau, where I talk about the Boonslick Road and Archer Alexander, my next book. I like to write about people whose stories never seem to get told. I first became aware of Sage Chapel Cemetery back in 2012 when 2 O'Fallon police officers came in to the St. Charles County Historical Society where I worked at that time. And they were looking for information on the property owner of the Sage Chapel Cemetery. A nearby neighbor of the cemetery had gone through the cemetery with a bobcat and had done a lot of damage, and saying he wasn't aware that there was even a cemetery there because it was so overgrown and the weeds were at least waist high at that time. I began my research on the history of this cemetery that was sold to formerly enslaved people in 1881 who were the trustees of the Sage Chapel AME Church. It had continued to be a burying ground for all African Americans in this community until recently. After 2 years of extensive research on the property, I submitted a National Register nomination to the State Historic Preservation Office for listing Sage Chapel Cemetery on the National Register of Historic Places on August 10, 2018. Also with me that day was Mary Stevenson, Tom and Mary, whose enslaved ancestors were some of the first to be buried in that cemetery, and to whom I will always be extremely grateful for all of her support. Also present was John Griesenauer from the city of O'Fallon. The process for review is extensive, and I am extremely grateful to Amber Cox, who also worked with me closely from the State Historic Preservation Office. This small African-American cemetery, only the second in the state at that time to be listed, was listed on the National Register of Historic Places on the National Park Service under the Department of Interior on November 2nd, 2018, which brings me to the purpose of tonight. I would like to donate to the City of O'Fallon this plaque which says, "This property has been listed on the National Register of Historic Places by the United States Department of the Interior. This property," meaning Sage Chapel Cemetery. Since then, not only has the City of O'Fallon stepped up and taken ownership, but continues to maintain it as well. Thank you. But I have long had a deep desire to see this cemetery and the people who are buried there recognized in the way they deserve, with a plaque on its sign for the entire world to acknowledge the story of these people. It's been 7 years, so I purchased and would like to present this brass plaque to the City of O'Fallon, and I do hope that they will place it where it belongs. I would like to acknowledge both Amy Steen and Justin Watkins for their assistance in locating death certificates. There are 117 burials and 37 headstones for people who are buried in this place. Thank you very much. I firmly believe that all the family whose loved ones are buried there are as grateful tonight as I am that they are all finally going to be acknowledged. As long as their name can be spoken, they are not forgotten. I made sure that the National Register listing, which can be seen online at my website on sagechapel.com, also included all of their names so that they would all always be recognized. Thank you for this evening and the opportunity.
Thank you, Doris, very much. And thank you, everybody that showed up for this. Really appreciate it. On our new business is the Westhoff Grain and Mercantile Building, the Goodwood plaque, a presentation that right now will be held on August 12th. At 3 o'clock is when they're going to start, like the celebrations, the yearly get-together. And then the regular plaque will, we don't know the actual time, but the get-together actually starts at 3 o'clock. And I will send out text messages to everybody so they know, because we're waiting on more detail, okay? And then on the Rail District, the Rail District is the, this will be the second year. They have around 2,000 people. And that is O'Fallon Chambers Rail District. It's also sponsored by our foundation also. So that we will have a booth next to the log cabin. We will have our O'Fallon history books on sale for $10. We will also have some literature from the Sisters of the Most Precious Blood, along, hopefully I get some stuff on from some of the veterans, the local veteran stuff here, and then also on our historic homes, and then our historic literature we have. There might be a few other things that we might have, some plates or something. So that'll be from 12 to 6, I believe. So anybody wants to come out and help, feel free.
Yeah, what day?
That is September 6th. And we'll be up next to the train, the miniature train department. They'll have the little train for the kids too. So we'll be next to the log cabin. That's all going to be taking place. Our part will be up in the circle.
Rick, do you need some of those brochures printed?
I think we will, yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember what's at the log cabin, but I know we need to update. I mean, we need some newer stuff
Okay.
up there, because this is mostly there's a lot of people, but it's also the chamber.
Okay.
Yeah. Do I need to do an inventory?
I was just going to print some of those, the ones that for the local
Yes.
registers.
Yes.
Okay.
That'll work. I'm just bringing my notes up here. Yeah, so it's 12 to 6 p.m. on September 6th. There'll be many vendors there. I do not have that list yet because they will send it to me, but I'll make sure everybody gets it. And one thing that is important, we don't know if it's going to happen, but if we do get into the first 2 rooms of the log cabin, we might have to be a last minute thing. We might have to go in and just clean up a little bit. That would be it. I'm hoping we can, but that's really pushing it. But we'll see what happens. Okay. And then on America's birthday, July 4th, think about it, because we're going to have a float. I promised you guys we'd have a float. We're going to have a float. I have access to a 16 and an 18-foot flatbed. I do not know if it's going to be a truck or a trailer, so we have time to start thinking what we want to represent. I would, and think about if something on that float, that might have a little shade, just in case it's really hot. Because I'm glad I didn't walk in the parade like Molly did this last time, because it looked like it was hot. It was horrible.
It was a little warm.
Yeah.
I kept trying to get behind the shade of the balloon.
Yeah, it was hot, and so we have to think about what we want to do with that. And that would be, that's going to be fun. I mean, I know I want to be this person sitting up against the tree like he used to be out at the hill home. So that's what I want. That's what I want to do. I want some shade.
And remember, we had talked about it with the DAR. They wanted to participate with us.
Yeah, and actually the DR, I mean, I don't know if any of them's here tonight, but yeah, we will reach out to them, because I think they're splitting their time up in Winsville and OFallon Parade. So we will work with them. It's a big deal, and we will work with the Parks Department also, because there's a lot of things that has been talked about doing on Main Street. So we'll see. But think about what we want to do. What's simplified, because we like everybody, but we want everybody to be comfortable and not have to walk. And we can ride and have shade and maybe have a generator with a fan. Yeah, true.
It's like this.
Yeah. So think about that. So we got that coming up. We got the Rail District coming up, and we have the West Off Grain also on the 6th. And then tonight we have part 2 of the Sisters of Most Precious Blood, which this is their legacy. So we're finding out more about them and their work that they've done, not just of them being here, here in the city of O'Fallon. They've done many things throughout the world, and with that, I'm happy to bring in Sister Barbara for her presentation.
I have to move. I'm not in a good position.
Okay, you're fine.
So this is going to
You need us to move something?
If I use that mic, I don't need this mic, and then I can get closer. Sorry, this is going to take a minute. Can you hear me? Yes. All right. So, it's not showing up on the screens there yet.
Here it comes. Here it comes. There you go.
Okay. Between the remote and a handful of papers, kind of slows me down, so I'm sorry, but we'll do what we can. All right. Our Presence in O'Fallon, Part 2. How the campus grew, the history of the buildings, and what went on in them. First, I'm going to do a quick review from last time. This is the view from Main Street. This is the first building. The building that was begun in 1874. The sisters moved in the summer of 1875. And the red arrow that you see there is pointing to the barely visible main entrance, which faced south, faced the railroad tracks. The original building consisted of the 3-story high chapel and rooms serving various purposes, such as workrooms and kitchen, dining room, offices, small infirmary, and bedrooms or dormitories. The photo on the left is the sanctuary of the chapel. The painting above the altar depicts the death of St. Joseph. On the right is a close-up of the altar, which was brought from Germany and is still here, but in a different location. The sisters moved into the first building, settled in, and realized that they did not have enough room. So the next building was built a year later, in 1876. This building is called the North Wing. The North Wing had rooms for classrooms, workrooms, and dormitories, dining room, kitchen, and scullery, otherwise known as the dishwashing room. This wing also housed the church embroidery rooms, which became the ecclesiastical art department, the normal school for teachers, which became St. Mary's College, and a boarding school for girls, which was moved to St. Louis and became St. Elizabeth Academy. In 1886, Mother Armella bought the northwestern part of our present property. As far as I can determine, this property, about 2.5 acres, extended from the main drive to about 20 feet north of the old Lourdes Grotto, and from Main Street to the northwest corner of our cemetery, which was very small in those days. Ooh. Mother Armella, in 1889, purchased the public school grounds, which together with the nearby woods became a park. Mother Armella had walks laid out and a lake put in which was stocked with fish. This lake furnished the water for our laundry for over 30 years. And for years, the ice was cut from this lake in the winter and stored in our ice house near the former kitchen. In 1899, under the leadership of Mother Armella, St. Mary's Institute purchased Northland, an area of about 40 acres. Interpreting the language of the deed, it would seem that this is the area north of the grotto, but not adjoining Main Street. This brings us to the end of the 19th century, with 2 buildings and many acres of land, and all of that accomplished in about 25 years. The 20th century was still new when we embarked on another building project. This is called the West Wing, because it extended farther west than the first building. And if I knew how to work the pointer, if you can see how it extends farther than the original building. This photo must have been taken the day the construction was completed. Notice the lack of landscaping. In fact, it's muddy. Note the door, which seems to be at ground level. Actually, the entrance is 2 steps up. Right in there. Where did I put my... Oops. Inside, there were more steps up to the first floor level, and this was true of the east entrance, the entrance at the other end of the building as well. Sometime after 1930, the steps were built on the outside, leading to the front door. The door was raised, the internal steps were removed, and flooring was put down. Later, a portico was added, as this photo shows. See the red arrow pointing to the steps. Over the years, this west entrance had undergone several remodelings. Now the entrance looks like this. In the reconstruction that created the apartments, steps and a ramp were added to make the entrance handicap accessible. Here is a view of the west wing from the south. From this building to the railroad tracks, there was nothing except empty ground. Another view. This is the way it looked in earlier years before the west entrance was rebuilt and other modifications were made. Help, it's not moving. There we go.
It's just a delay.
Okay. This blueprint, if you can see the internal steps into the building on the blueprint, here at the east entrance and over there at the west entrance. Curious that the steps would be inside. Well, parlors, dining room, guest accommodations, and across the north-south corridor, a sewing room. The broad stairs spanned all 3 floors, and simple stairs went to the basement. These rooms were repurposed many times and now form apartments. I'm not doing something right. Okay, guess I'll use this. Okay. Oh, what's it doing now? Come on now. Can anyone help me?
Try.
Yes, please. It worked fine last time. And we don't want to go back. That makes it go forward, but I want to go back.
You've got it.
No.
Oh, she's using that too.
Yeah, I would need to go back several.
Good old.
Oh, hello.
I'm
Am I going?
The keyboard, come on, yeah.
That one, before that, one before. That's it.
Okay.
This.
You just tell me when to advance. You read and I'll advance.
Okay, thank you. That makes it really easy. All right, the Ecclesiastical Art Department. It filled most of the second floor. Sister Hiltrudis directed the department for 55 years. Okay, yeah. Back in 1937, the sisters in the machine stitching room, so they are all at their sewing machines. Because the EAD was such an important part of our history and mission, I've included some historic photos of the sisters who worked in the department. Okay, next. And here, 1938, sisters are doing hand stitching, so they're all at their, what do you call those frames? Seal?
Looms?
Frames. All right, next one. At the top left is Sister Marcella, also known as Sister Mary Ambrose. And at the bottom left is Sister Michaeline, standing next to Sister Leora Marie, also known as Sister Mary Eudes. And on the right is Sister Viola Marie. Some of you may know some of those sisters. Okay. The Ecclesiastical Art Department formally ceased operations in 2018. In the lower photo at the far right is Sister Mary Cecile. Recognize her? Mm-hmm. She directed the department after Sister Hiltrudis retired, that is, from 2000 to 2018. Cecile, do you want to add anything at this point? Okay. The third floor of the West Wing accommodated the sleeping quarters of the sisters. Dormitories held 6 or 9 cells, each cell or cubicle, surrounded by curtains for privacy. Later, the dorms were turned into 2 private rooms with an alcove that gave entrance into each room. Note the footprints out from the corridor through the little alcove, foyer area sort of, and then into your room. Earlier, I referred to the broad stairs. Here's a photo of them. Around the corner, follow the arrow, and you will be led to the door to the cloister corridor and thus to chapel. The broad stairs were removed in 1981, and some of us old-timers still miss them. And then, once they were removed, flooring was put down over the gap, extending the rooms on first, second, and third floor. The banister was all that was left of the stairs. It guarded the steps to the basement and defined a space for the statue of St. Lawrence. And now it too is gone. Okay. In 1908, Mother Beata bought a parcel of land from O'Fallon resident Caroline Tallier, which consisted of about 20 acres to the north of the convent. On this land stood, or was built, St. Joseph Home, which served first as an orphan home, then as a guest house and workmen's quarters. It was torn down around 1991. Little Teresa Hanses was born in 1904, so maybe she's about 6 or 8 years old in this photo. She entered the community in 1922 and was given the name Sister Agneta. She died in 1984. Back in 1886, Mother Armella bought land to the northwest of the convent. She intended that a shrine honoring Our Lady of Lourdes would be erected on a portion of this land. However, her plan was not realized during her term in office. It was Mother Wilhelmine who saw the project begun and completed. Mother Armella did live to see her dream become a reality. The Lourdes Grotto was finished in the fall of 1921, and the first torchlight procession to the grotto was made on the eve of her name day, October 23rd, amid the singing of hymns and the recitation of the Rosary. Recognizing the need for a reliable source of water, Mother Wilhelmine decided to have an artesian well drilled on our property. On October of 1922, the drilling of the well was begun, and drillers struck water in November at 905 feet. Okay, the fourth building, the chapel. Mother Wilhelmine saw the need for a larger chapel. Next. Facilities for our growing community were no longer adequate. In the then existing building, the first chapel walls were bulging with so many sisters and candidates. Mother Wilhelmine wanted a large chapel with an infirmary of 10 rooms nearby. In May of 1925, workmen broke ground for the new chapel, and in June, the building of the cloister corridor connecting the west wing with the new chapter and the infirmary on first floor, otherwise known as Sacred Heart Hall, was built. Okay, you recognize the west wing to the left.
Yes.
Behind the Sacred Heart statue is the cloister corridor built to connect the convent with the new St. Joseph Chapel. The chapel was completed in time for its dedication by the Most Reverend Archbishop John J. Glennon on July 22nd, 1926. Okay. Here you see from the back, from the east, St. Joseph Chapel, Sacred Heart Hall, the west wing, and tucked between the west wing and the north wing is a little bit of the first building. And I would use the pointer, but obviously it's not going to work. Okay, we can see. Oh, that's right. This is the cloister walk, as it was before the reconstruction that created the apartments. Walk up to the wall with the crucifix and turn right to enter the chapel. Photo was taken sometime before 1959 when we modified the habit. It appears that the sister on the left may have just come from Sacred Heart Hall. The entrance to Sacred Heart Hall, this was the infirmary with bedrooms, bathrooms, nurse's room, sun porch, and easy access to the chapel. And this is the chapel, the interior. The chapel was finished in 1926, but the walls were bare. There was no ornamentation.
Give it a try.
In December of 1928, Gottfried Schiller, a German immigrant, a German artist, began frescoing St. Joseph Chapel. Note the altar with its canopy. Note the arch with the lamb at the top and the figures along each side. The next slide gives more detail. The arch is an interpretation of the verses in the book of Revelations in chapter 5. At the top is the lamb, surrounded by symbols of the evangelists. See if you can see a man, a lion, an ox, an eagle, representing Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Below them are 24 elders, 12 on each side. The 24 elders hold bowls filled with incense, which are the prayers of the holy ones. Below them are angels, and so you could really see the angels. I put 2 on each side, a little close-up. Angels who cry out in a loud voice. This is from Revelations. Worthy is the Lamb that was slain to receive power and riches, wisdom and strength, honor and glory and blessing. Okay. Here's the community assembled at Mass in St. Joseph Chapel in January of 1952. The chaplain, Monsignor Gerard Pelker, is the celebrant. In the first pews, wearing filmy white veils, are probably postulants or aspirants. These are the beginners. Behind them, in white veils, are the novices in their second or third year of formation. Behind them, in black veils, are the professed sisters. The triptych with Mary, Joseph, angels, and the infant, and I have a close-up of it on the right. It dates from 1927, the year after the chapel was finished. Although the triptych is long gone, the infant still holds a place of honor at Christmas. I remember the sanctuary looking like this. You do too, Seal. And the many young men who served as altar boys in those days would remember it as well. All right, the fifth building, the novitiate. This is the building where we lived and worked and learned how to be sisters, the house of formation for religious life. The Aarons family owned land in the southwest corner of our property. I tried to indicate it with the yellow box. It's property between the railroad tracks and St. Joseph Chapel. Sometime around 1926-27, Mother Wilhelmine authorized the purchase of this property and sold to the Aarons 3 acres of land bordering the orchard to the north beyond St. Joseph home. You have to think way over on the left, way up there. The novitiate building was built on this land, purchased from the Aarons. In 1930, there were about 50 postulants and novices, so a new building was definitely needed. And when Seal and I were in the novitiate, there were still about 50 or maybe 60 with your class. It got a little crowded, yeah. Okay. At the front, on the first floor, on either side of that entrance. Oh,
Yeah, I do that too.
thank you. All right. Okay, on either side of the entrance. There are parlors. On the south side of the building, the railroad track side, that's it, down that way. There were small rooms used as music rooms and classrooms. On the north side, the chapel side, was a guest room suite and a dining room, and I think classrooms. I'm a little fuzzy about exactly what was on the first floor. All right. On the second floor were classrooms, the library, the novice mistress's office and bedroom, and at the front, a large meeting room. On the third floor were dormitories and bathrooms. We stored our trunks in the attic and hung our daily wash on the clotheslines provided. The large kitchen and scullery, together with 2 dining rooms, occupied the east end of the novitiate building. The basement held storage and workspace for such tasks as potato peeling. I draw your attention to the attic dormer window, where the red arrow is, in anticipation of the next slide, not yet.
Okay.
One day, while we were in the attic hanging up our wash, a postulant looked out that attic window and saw quite a sight. Now you can. In a field at some distance to the east, the O'Fallon Volunteer Fire Department was burning down an old farmhouse for practice. Next. It was a riveting sight. We watched as long as we dared and then hurried to our next scheduled activity. Okay, the sixth building, the East Annex. 20 years have passed since the novitiate was built. Mother Borges saw that once again we needed more room. Next. Okay. This aerial view, I don't know, it says 1940, so that's when that was taken. The sisters needed more space for a larger kitchen, a large meeting room, a larger infirmary, and other rooms for the growing community. The red outline indicates approximately where the East Annex will be. Note that the water tower is in the way. What do you do with something that's in the way? You move it, of course. The water tower was moved from its original location to the south side of the property, a distance of 900 yards. With a capacity of 30,000 gallons, it stood 130 feet high. It was moved inch by inch and foot by foot on rollers. Wow. It took the men 5 days to do the move. Next. The water tower took up residence next to the railroad tracks. Here it stood until 1999, when it was removed in anticipation of the city putting a road through the property. That never happened. The building on the left, the corner of that building, is the gym and laundry building. Okay. This, the construction. This graphic shows how the East Annex was built off the West Wing and Sacred Heart Hall. Where's that pointer?
Here, where you need it.
The brown
Up
part?
here.
Yeah, the West Wing, a little bit on this side, and then the Sacred Heart Hall. You see where it says West Wing?
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Down.
There you go. Okay, go up. It's built off the West Wing, and then it's built off Sacred Heart Hall. Okay, thank you. We make a good team, don't we? All right. From 1950 to 1976, the two upper floors housed the infirmary. The first floor housed the kitchen and auxiliary rooms. The outside door led to the men's dining room. Note the two-story structure with the window on the left. Can you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that. Mhm. The upper floor, where the window is, that was the infirmary chapel. And the lower part was the loading dock for the kitchen supplies. Seal, you want to say something at that point?
That's now my apartment.
More about that next month, but yeah. Okay, go ahead. All right. Those are porches. The infirmary rooms on the west side had access to the porches. The bottom floor had the kitchen. All the space has been transformed now into apartments. The seventh building, the gym and laundry. Okay. This graphic shows how the gym and laundry building connects to the novitiate building. And now inside the building, well, the gym with a stage is on the upper floor. Many dramatic performances took place on this stage. 6 basketball hoops hung from the walls. The one above the stage was retractable, and you see just a little bit of it at the top of that photo. Above the stage. Yeah, it's hard to...
Oh, I see.
Yeah, up there.
Right up
There you go.
there.
Okay, the laundry is on the lower floor. We all took turns in the laundry. I preferred putting the damp sheets through the mangle. The sheets coming off the mangle were hot and they burned fingers. Okay. It seems to be appropriate to mention at this point that what you all know, the novitiate and the laundry, gym, as well as the college, are now City Hall. Sister Mary Cecile told me that this meeting room where we are right now is in what was the laundry.
Oh, wow.
So if we ever smell something,
Believe me, it looks vastly different. Okay. The 8th building, the chapel extension, and the college. The chapel extension is marked with the purple arrow below, and the college building is marked with the yellow arrow a little higher up. Okay. This graphic shows how it all fits together. Mother Lorenza saw the need for these two structures. Now, this is the new sanctuary, in the west part, the extension. I draw your attention to the windows on the lower level. Yeah, round those. Okay, next slide. This is the north part, the north side of the new part. Note the window marked with the arrow. The next slide will show it up close, and there you are. The Christmas window. All the windows were designed by Sister Hiltrudis Powers and executed in the Emil Frey Art Studio. At the top of this window is the hand of God. To the left, angel wings. Below them are 3 crowns. I should slow down so you can, okay, over,
Angel
that's it.
wing.
Angel wings, a little higher up and over.
Oh,
Yeah, there's the angel wings. And then below that,
there's 3 crowns.
the 3 crowns for the 3 kings. On the lower right are hands holding crooks symbolizing the shepherds. And note the sheep, a little Yeah, you got one. In the middle is the Kiro, the symbol for Christ. A lily symbolizing Mary stands before the manger. Perhaps you remember from earlier slides seeing the arch found in the chapel built in 1925. This window features another interpretation of the verses from Revelations, chapters 4 and 5. The central figure in the window is the Lamb, symbol of Christ, and words from the book of Revelations come to mind. Worthy is the Lamb to receive the scroll and break open its seals. Alleluia is the song of the redeemed. Can you find Alleluia in there? It's right under the Lamb. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Alleluia is the song of the redeemed who join their voices with the angels in prayer and praise. And there's incense and harp in the windows somewhere. Okay, here's a glimpse of all the windows which tell the story of salvation from the creation in Genesis, and that's the first window. Here we really do need the pointer.
Yeah.
That's it. And other Old Testament events to the New Testament, the birth of Jesus, the second one in the middle.
This one?
Second one from the left.
Second in the middle.
Yeah, that one. Holy Thursday. Holy Thursday, the last middle.
Last middle. That one?
That one. Good Friday, the first one at the bottom. Easter, the second one at the bottom. Pentecost, the third one. And then we skip finally to the vision in heaven in Revelations, the one that you saw already, the last window. I would go through each one of these individually, but we don't have time. You can come and see them. Sister Mary Cecile would love to give anybody who's interested a tour. Yep. Do you want to do an advertisement at this point, Seal?
I was good enough. All you have to do is call me.
Okay. The grill or screen at the back of chapel, Sister Hiltrudis illustrated the hymn of creation, that is, the canticle of the three young men in the fiery furnace. Here's another challenge for you. You see the Kiro at the top in the middle, the Greek letters standing for Christ, the CH, and then the rest of it, Christ. See the moon to the right? Stars.
There.
Snowflakes. Wheat stalks. Down a little bit.
Okay.
The spider on its web.
What's a spider doing?
I think she likes spiders.
She just told me.
The rooster. The honeybee on its comb. Fish. The zigzag lightning bolt.
Oh.
On the left at the top, goes like that. Yeah, up there, but they're finding it. And flowers. This concludes our brief tour of the chapel, but there's so much more I could show you. All right. Moving right along, we now feature St. Mary's College. Next slide. St. Mary's College was begun as a normal school or teacher training school for the sisters back in 1878 with rooms in the North Wing. In 1921, the status of St. Mary's Normal School was changed to that of a junior college, fully accredited with the state of Missouri. Then in 1925, St. Mary's College became a corporate college of St. Louis University. As such, it enjoyed accreditation by North Central Association of College and Secondary Schools. And when Sister Mary Cecile and I were in college taking classes, our grade slips always came from St. Louis University. Once the novitiate building was erected, college classrooms were relocated there. In 1957, St. Mary's College undertook an extensive self-evaluation, self-study and evaluation, preparatory to its application for independent accreditation by North Central. One result of the study was the recognition of the need for more classroom space. This led to the erection of a classroom building for St. Mary's College. Cornerstones for both the college and the chapel extension were laid in 1962. Also in 1962, St. Mary's was granted full accreditation by the North Central Association. Okay. Begun in 62, finished in 64. Here is the new college building. Up to this point, the college still enrolled only the sisters, and by way of exception, some laywomen. In September of 1964, St. Mary's College made history when it became the first coeducational institution of higher learning in St. Charles County. Remember, at that time, Lindenwood was all girls. Okay. St. Mary's was a liberal arts, you went past one. Can you back up? That's it. St. Mary's was a liberal arts college which stressed the humanities with course subjects like English composition and literature, and I taught both. Mathematics, history, and sciences. Okay. In addition to the liberal arts program, St. Mary's also had a very successful nursing program and a criminal justice program. In 1986, the residents of St. Charles County voted to approve and fund the St. Charles County Community College District. Until its buildings were completed, the community college leased space in our building. Reduced enrollment. Why pay private college tuition when a public-funded college was available? St. Mary's College ceased operation in June of 1988. For 110 years, the college educated the youth and the sisters and the youth and older adults who sought an associate degree. Many of our well-prepared graduates went on to four-year colleges. And as you know, the college building is now also part of City Hall. Okay. The 9th building, St. Joseph Hall. Sister Miriam Joseph saw the need for this 9th and last building. Okay. This graphic shows how St. Joseph Hall attaches to the East Annex. Buildings just keep growing, it seemed. All right. St. Joseph Hall is now called Abbey Senior Living, and this is the view from the east. The main entrance up the ramp. If you've been there, you've gone up that ramp. Okay. The main entrance from inside, and it still looks pretty much that way. Here is the receptionist's desk as it was in 1976. Okay. There was a well-stocked gift shop. Here you could purchase a baby layette, or crocheted bookmarks, or greeting cards made by the sisters. Also available were candy bars, or travel-sized toiletries, and much more. The stuffed and crocheted animals were a popular item. You can see them. Can you see them with your pointer? Yeah. That's, there. There's a couple. And then next to it, there. The stuffed and crocheted animals were a popular item.
Those you've all done. 1, 5, 1.
I don't know the rest. I'm going to have to wing it because I don't know where the rest of my script went.
Is it still in the envelope?
No, it's not. It shouldn't be. Isn't that curious? Okay. Let's see if I can remember what I wrote. The skilled care floors, those windows are to a window porch and then the rooms are beyond it. And underneath that overhang, see the kitchen windows, that little set of windows there? Okay, next slide. There's those same windows inside, and there's the kitchen. And Sister Mary Cecile and I and the rest of us spend many an assignment scrubbing pots and pans in those sinks. I remember. Okay. Before 1976, see the windows, okay, and that's the old furniture. You can go. Now, the servery, when they built St. Joseph Hall, they built a servery, and that's going to be built behind that plastic drape. Yeah. And there it is, the servery. I tried to get the picture lighter so you could really see something, but as it was, but it wouldn't take. Okay, the dining room, we got nice new furniture in 2010, so nice tables and chairs. And some of the tables are round and some are okay. Yeah. All right, and then the laundry below the servery. So this is the laundry as it is now, with ooh, you went too fast. Okay. A washer, dryer, and Sister, I think it's Sister Suzanne and Sister Valerie Seal
Yes.
at the mangle. Okay. All right, so what else is in the basement? Well, storage, the boiler room, and the pool.
Gotta have a pool.
Uh-huh. And the sisters, well, the residents in general, do make use of it. One more. All right, or two more. So from this one building, that log house in 1873, to all those buildings in 1976. And then one more. And then from the beginning of the sisters in 1873, Sister Camilla and Sister Blanche. And then the community grew and grew and grew. Now shrunk. And now we are 59, and there's our pictures. Okay.
Is that it?
No, I think I got one more. I'd say the end, yeah. The end. Okay, and the end. Thank you. My script says something about what we'll see next time will be the repurposing of the buildings, and also how our sisters have contributed to the life of the city. And thank you for letting me do this. I'm enjoying this so much.
Thank you, Sister Barbara. We actually have one of your graduate students here from 1972, Miss Margaret Harper. She's sitting right there behind you.
Well, hello.
Anybody have any questions? You know, the St. Joseph home was triggered me because I thought I heard about it, but I also remember years ago when I first got involved with the Historical Society, they had talked about the orphan train, and then there were some stops here, and then we were figuring that, you know, some of us thought that that's probably where they were taken care of, was through the sisters, and eventually I'd like to learn a little bit more about that to see maybe.
I didn't know that. I visited the Orphan Train Museum in Concordia, Kansas some years ago.
And do you still have the well? Or did the city make you get city water?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, when the tower was taken down.
Okay.
Then we went on.
Yeah, we took the well down when the city was going to put a road through.
All right. In the back?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then we went on to city water.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, I've got a couple. Sister, any idea how many square foot total was built? In what, 9 buildings?
No.
Okay. It's large. I know that. It
I'm
is
not
large.
so sure. Maybe Marty would know.
I'm sure he does.
You've got the blueprints.
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
Blueprints.
Right.
Figure it out.
You would have some idea anyway. And then when the chapel was reversed,
Yeah,
were the seats swapped around?
yes.
They were? Okay.
yeah.
Fascinating. I think it's the most beautiful structure.
It is.
It truly is.
It is.
And there's just beauty in so many of those photographs.
I could do a whole PowerPoint on the chapel.
I believe that. It's beautiful. Architectural, beautiful architecture, yeah.
I would love to sit there and just look at the stained glass windows, each one of them, just,
And Sister Cecile will have information at the booth at the Rail District on that, on the chapel. You know, what really struck my mind is back in October, we were in Jeff City, and at the time, our representative for the state of Missouri had done a tour, and he was asking me more about it because he's an architectural person, and he wanted to bring some very high-ranking people here to see that, you know, and I'm hoping he still does. He took a new job in Kansas City. Now he's on the other side of the state, but I'm hoping he does. I'll come back and
Thank you for
see
your
that,
help.
because
That was good.
when you really look at it and you think about it and you go in there, you're just like, wow. The presentation is awesome. You know, taking an old structure and creating a new structure and creating
Exactly.
everything
Actually,
old, but yet
not
new.
on the kitchen table,
You know,
but
it
next
was
to mine.
beautiful. But Sister Barbara, I thank you. Anybody have any other questions? I want to welcome Tanya for being here, filling in for the other Tanya. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you for being here. Anybody else? If that, I will close. Good night. Thank you, everybody, for coming out.